When you cross the border into these United States illegally, expect to be arrested. You do not have the right to come here. We did not invite you here, and you cannot stay here. It's come to this. No more civil discourse. What's happening in this country today is beyond anything we've ever seen in American politics. Political debate at the very heart of the founding of this country has devolved into political harassment and outright political abuse. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the White House press secretary, one of the most prestigious jobs in Washington, D.C., out to dinner, places her order and is then told to leave by the owner because she works for the President of the United States. Sarah quietly leaves. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen this week was literally screamed and heckled out of a restaurant while eating her dinner. Trump supporters are being harassed all across this country by an hysterical left unwilling to accept the decision and the will of the American people who put Donald Trump in office. These unhinged leftists are normalizing outrageous behavior, which is only getting worse. So why is this happening? Once the Democrats' 24/7 Russia collusion illusion nonsense fizzled because there was no evidence of wrongdoing or collusion other than corruption on the part of those at the top level of the FBI and DOJ to frame Donald Trump, the left needed a new issue, a new deflection to some other made-up wrongdoing on the part of Donald Trump. What to accuse him of? What can we blame him for now? They then deflect to the inhumane separation of children from their families at the border. Now, I want to be clear. I have spent my professional life fighting for children. Children who've been victimized and injured and harmed. There is nothing more heartbreaking than children being separated from their parents. Every day, family courts separate parents from their children. Every day, criminal judges separate parents from their children. And every day, children are placed in foster care away from their parents. And I haven't heard anyone on the left complain. Now, for those of you who are so blinded by Trump hatred, there are laws in this country. A primer. When you cross the border into these United States illegally, expect to be arrested. You do not have the right to come here. We did not invite you here, and you cannot stay here. But on your way out, you can thank Bill Clinton and his Flores settlement that requires that children be taken away from their parents within 20 days of crossing the border. And you can also thank Presidents Bush and Obama for signing into law that children cannot be detained at the border longer than 20 days under the Trafficking Victims Protection Acts. And now everyone wants to go after President Trump. This is not something that President Trump created. George Bush did nothing about it. Barack Obama did nothing about it. And by the way, Laura Bush, we haven't seen you for a while. Thanks for entering the fray and calling the removal of children cruel and inhumane. Why didn't you just roll over one night and tell your husband, the president, that his zero-tolerance policy was cruel and inhumane? The left just doesn't care what the facts are. Politicians are willing to stand up and totally contradict themselves in their effort to create political chaos, hatred, and abuse. And Steny Hoyer, the most senior-ranking Democrat in Congress, says this.
He is taking infant children hostage, wrenching them from the arms of their parents, traumatizing them, perhaps for life.
Hey, Steny, you've been in Congress for 37 years. You said nothing during the Clinton, Bush, or Obama administration, and now you're worried? And Senator Kamala Harris says this.
We imprison them. We imprison them. We put them behind barbed wires.
Kamala, when you were Attorney General in California, over 1 million people were separated from their children. Does separating of children from families only hurt if Donald Trump is president? And Peter Fonda, he says we should rip the president's son from his mother's arm and put him in a cage with pedophiles. Hey, Peter, how about you get on your motorcycle and take an easy ride off the planet? J-Lo bemoans and trashes the president for this separation of children from parents. Except this child is separated from her parents in Mosul by ISIS. Even Time magazine is so blinded that they ignore all journalistic standards to trash Donald Trump. The child depicted here on the cover was not separated from her mother. In fact, the child here was taken by the mother without the father's permission or knowledge or consent from her home country. And this mother, by the way, had previously been deported. We cannot allow our country to be overrun by illegal immigrants. The only resolution to this problem is to build a wall. Amnesty does nothing but create an incentive for additional crossings by illegals. Make no mistake, the Democrats are simply looking for an issue for the 2018 midterms. And even if they have to lie, create false images, and a movement to intimidate Trump supporters, they will stop at nothing. Folks, we're in a very dangerous place right now. Hate is hate. Hate leads to harassment and abuse. And that abuse leads to violence. And that violence leads to retaliation. Any threat of violence that conjures up a visual of violence is more dangerous than just having different political views. We are a very short distance from those who are willing to cross the line of political debate to those willing to cross the line into political abuse.